Yeah, so let's then get started. First of all, warm welcome everyone for our first hackathon in this year, and we are going to start very soon. Just give me a minute. Let me share my screen. There. Let me know if you are able to see my screen. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm able to see.
Okay, sure. So thanks for once again joining, and we will be just giving a briefing of it, what this hackathon is going to be in the next 90 days. And this is for the people who are joining or who will be joining the session from, or who will be watching the recording in the future, or you will be watching it from my platform. So just an instruction for them that this 9 missions, whatever we are going to talk about, this is independent of the module. Okay. So whatever the module, it will not be module specific, but I will be giving you case studies, and based on that, there are separate sessions which will be conducting as a boot camps and workshops. Okay. So for that, you have to be very careful and attend those sessions as well. Okay. So when it comes to the sessions, so as I say, we will be covering 9 missions in a span of 3 months, okay, around 90 days. And in between, I'll be giving enough time for all of you to practice, do hands-on, practice all the whatever is required. Okay. So no need to worry about that part. Okay. So that is something I will recommend to follow the pace of the hackathon, and it will be going to a little faster. And yeah, so that is the way. So what we are going to cover, and I'm just giving a brief of it, what is going to happen in each and every mission as well. So as I say, this is a product agnostic as well as a module agnostic. So first mission is all about the discover. So let's say whether you are new to a module or whether already maybe you have worked on any of the modules, success factor, let's say, right? So we will be going for first mission is all about the product exploration. So what this product is all about. Let's say for me, let's say I'm not aware of a particular module, let's say PMGM or succession, right? Okay. So I have to go for that module, let's say. Okay. In that case, I have to explore what this product is all about. Okay. What are the current trends? It's not all about the product. Also, we have to understand what is the current trends of that particular product. You might have seen that AI is integrated in almost every modules, okay, in SuccessFactors. Okay, so to also understand what are the emerging trends and all, that is something we are going to see, and how it is impacting, and what are the questions list. Also, all the things we have to prepare, be ready with that as well. Okay, and third thing is industry specific needs. So basically, every product is okay, but some of the products are okay. So like I'll talk about one of the recent example, one of the retail company which I was working for, there are a lot of attritions. Okay, so for them, the recruiting module was very much significant, recruiting and onboarding module, and inside that also they have implemented AI. Okay, so that is, I will say that there are modules which are very much important for us, and also we have to understand from an industry point of view which are the modules we have to see. We have to take care of those modules as well. Okay, so that is something I will say we will be going through in this hackathon, and guided implementation. That is the most important part. Strategy without implementations, nothing works, right? So you may be having a lot of strategy, lot of documentation, lot of trainings, right? Unless and until you implement it, right, you are not going to understand the product, right? As an implementation consultant, I'm saying, and also these sessions that I'm actually opening for all the business analysts as well. If suppose somebody joining from a company where they are going to implement internally, okay, or they are business owners, right? So I keep those sessions in a way that it will be catering to the both the demand. And one good news this time, I have already launched in Success Labs Academy that recently I'm also experimenting that with. So we have something called industry specific labs. Okay, so that is something I will say that. So which is an industry first innovation we have done in the coaching industry. And for every industry, I've already identified which are the industries we are going to focus. And you will be given a free 90 days access to those based on your interest. or based on whatever I will be deciding. And you are going to go ahead with those one specific industry, and you will be doing the all the implementation for that particular industry. The requirements will be given by the industry experts. Okay, so that you will be feeling like as if you are working in a real-time project and in a real-time scenario. Okay, so as usual, we will be having our membership and all those things. But as I say, we will be having this structure in place, right? So at present, I have activated 7 industries. So starting with insurance, we have utilities, telecom, then we have a IT, medical technology device, education services, and household durables. And more industries are coming up. And for this, we have followed a structure as well. So we followed a structure called a GICS. GICS again is a framework. I will give you a hint on this as we are talking about this. So this will be very new for you, but it will be solving a lot of problems in our community as well as globally. I'm taking whatever you are talking about it. I'm not limiting myself or any of my students to limit it to only one industry. I want them to explore multiple industries and multiple things. So I'm following a standard called as a global industry, basically taxonomy. You can see that. Just give me a minute. In global industry classification standard, GICS taxonomy. And here we do have basically all these, sectors, industries, sub-industries, and a lot of things, right? So that is something we are going to focus in upcoming days. Okay. So how it has been divided, total, whatever the industries we are having in the globally, it has been total 11 sectors, 25 industry groups, 74 industry, and 163 sub-industries, right? But out of that, we will be focusing on the specific industry, which are always on demand. And that is the way I followed this taxonomy. All of our case studies will be falling into in any one of the sectors. Okay. So globally, we have 11 sectors, by the way. Under that, we have industry groups. Under that, we do have industries, and under that, we do have a sub-industries. Okay. So total 74 industries globally recognized, and one of our case studies will be falling into one of those recognized industries only. Okay, so this is a common standard globally, it is followed, and that template actually for the first time in this first version of the hackathon we are launching in. And there are also, we have a group of students, actually I have already allocated them, and latter point of time I will be giving you a form today after today's session, maybe in after the sessions, so that you will be actually solving a real-time case study from the beginning of this hackathon. Okay, so that is the way my intention is, not only to understand the features of the product, rather how it is going to be utilized. Because I have one of my mentor used to say that utility is the principle. Unless and until you utilize those features, products, and all those stuff in your product, in SuccessFactor or any other module, right? So you are not going to learn that in a thoroughly, right? So I'll be giving one example how this industry lab is actually has been structured. So first of all, you will be getting an information like this once you go inside the industry specific lab. Okay, what does this all about? What this code is all about, and what does this industry refers to? Okay, so it will talk about that. Then we will be having a case study inside this. Okay, one is a for every industry I have given a case study, and inside that we have a two part. One is the client toolkit, second is the consultant toolkit. So I've started with this, and it will expand upon other modules as well. Okay, so as I say, these hackathons are industry agnostic, your technology agnostic, but we will be starting any module agnostic as well. So we will be giving whatever the module you want, depending on in each hackathons, depending on the number of participants, and accordingly this, although I do have all the case studies, I will be activating those case studies depending upon the students' demand again. Okay, so at present we have started with 7 industries, and these we will be giving you assignments or the exercises based on that particular industry only. Okay, so this is the plan for when I go for industry. So you will be getting this access for 90 days for all this to do this activity, and in case if you need an extension, you can always ask for this extension. Okay, so that is the plan for the mission number 1, as I said, and throughout all the 9 missions, you will be sticking to one industry. Okay, so that is the expectation, so that you complete the case studies, an end-to-end case study for your module. Let's say you are implementing PMGM, then you have to, for the entire 9 missions, you have to thorough, and you will be completing the PMGM activities, whatever is needed. Okay, so for that particular industry, and we'll be following agile MVP methodology. So I'm not expecting that we are going to implement a big project in a 90 days of period of time, but as much as possible, a minimum viable product instead of product, I will say project. Okay, so that is something I will be expecting, at least some major scenarios, or if you're already working in a project, maybe some of the scenarios you can build up on in your test environment. Okay, people who are not working or in a project, maybe they can go for a dummy project. Or so that is something I will, not a dummy, rather I will be giving a real-time case studies, and you will be assigned any of the industry lab. At present, 7 labs are activated, and I will be activating more labs in the future. Okay, so that is the plan, and that is the first mission I talked about. Okay, so today, as it is a briefing session, so I will not be going to the system as such, but more system-related activities will be happening in the boot camps. Okay, so stay tuned for boot camps and workshops where I will be activating more people, engaging more people in terms of the more hands-on. But these hackathons are actually more of a strategic sessions, and where any kind of these things will be happening, and what are the things you'll be doing, I'll provide you the guidelines. Okay, and at the same time, as I'm activating those industries and all those business requirements and all, you will be getting a chance to explore as much as possible. You may or may not be getting a chance in a real-time project or in a single company, right, into working into multiple projects, okay, multiple scenarios. Okay, but I have drawn these scenarios from my different previous projects, different freelancing activities, and other students also, they have contributed. Okay, many of my other students. So looking forward also to you, if you have worked on multiple other industry projects as well, start contributing, and we will be keeping those privacy in place. So you will not be sharing client details, but those requirements, okay, what kind of complex requirements you have. Okay, so those things we will be converting those into case studies so that other students also will be getting benefited from this community. Okay, so that is the intention behind creating this. And also we have a community. Okay, so basically, and people who have not accessed a community, we have a hackathon specific community. Okay, and we have just activated those community. I will just giving a 5-10 minutes briefing about it, how this community has been activated rigorously from this beginning of this year, and we are expecting more and more activities and engagements inside the community. Okay, in case if you are not a part of a community, so you have to just let me know, and I will be supporting you. Okay, so if you go inside the community sections, so we have activated all these course-based communities always there, but we have a hackathon specific community. So we have a hackathon specific community called SQR 2025, where we have just last 13 days, 14 days back, we have announced the pattern. So unless and until if there is anything special, we will follow this schedule, or if any small changes, if anything happens to XYZ reason, and I will be telling you if any changes required. Okay, but this is, as I say, so this is actually by you'll be following the community, and any questions related to come any of the hackathons at any stage of time, right? So you have to post this, any questions people are posting here also. The question you can say specific to this community, specific to this hackathon actually. Okay, so that is something we have planned. 9 hackathons, 9 sessions. We're targeting March end to be completed. Okay, so that is something. And as I said, this is an experience. Industry, we are following an industry first approach rather than product centric. Okay, so your boot camps and your workshops will be very much product centric, but this hackathons will be, as I say, industry specific, business centric, last to the product. Okay, so that is something, all the real world problem solving, and also we'll be having people from other different categories of people from different industries also coming together and joining this hackathons as well. Okay, so stay tuned for this, and as I activate this community, and also you'll be getting a chance to enroll on any kind of other boot camps as well. So we'll be activating. So at present, we have started the beta testing with the first batch of boot camp for platform foundations. And here actually people are sharing every day as they are learning what are the things they have learned. You can also go there and you can check it out, what are the different activities people are doing and what kind of activities they are performing. You can always look for that. If you have not done those activities, you can also go and take up those activities. So what I have done, I have divided entire platform foundations course and all the activities actually I have drawn upon here. Okay, so that is something broken down to all different activities, and people are actually performing those activities and sharing their experience. Okay, so there are multiple tasks available. There are multiple simulations, multiple different activities I have given, and people are actually on a regular day. Actually, with some recently we conducted a in-person workshop also recently in Bhubaneswar, and I'm looking forward such things if you are having a good number of people in a particular location, right? So that is something I'm looking forward, especially Delhi NCR is possible because I stay there and all, and looking forward to those activities in the future as well. So that is for boot camps. For all the modules, we have activated the boot camps, but we have actively started with platform foundations, and second one we have just started for employee central as well. So other boot camps also yet to be activated, which will be supporting things to the hackathons. So hackathons will be more of a project centric, okay, but boot camps will be more of a product centric. So you'll be learning each and every modules, like that kind of a crash course for it, all of it, the entire crash course in a very 6-8 hours, entire module, very specific topics, very fast manner. We'll be learning about that. But stay tuned for the hackathons where exactly we will talk about this kind of thing, okay? And what are the sequence you to follow so that it will be easy for you to navigate through the entire product, okay? So that is the questions, specific things I just thought of sharing with you. This is the mission 1, okay? So mission 1. So then after that, mission 2, whenever we will be going for, we will be talking about, we will be following SAP Activate methodology, by the way, and some of the best part of it. And as usual, we will be having a proper, your preparation stages and all those explore stage. Okay, going forward, these are the different, okay, all the things. Even if somebody is a project manager, or this session may be more relevant, but also as a consultant, also is be knowing it, what exactly you are going to do. Okay, and the preparation stage. Okay, we'll be providing the guides and what are the different guidelines required for those. Okay, so those details we will be covering in the preparation stage. Okay. Then we will be having explore. So in explore phase, you will be talking about covering the ALP. How many of you know the ALP and IDPs? Anyone? In are you aware of ALP guides and IDP guides? Has anyone explored the previous? If yes, you can type yes in the chat, or if you will be watching the YouTube, you can comment. Okay, thanks, Abdul, for that. Okay. Yeah, so those kind of documents, people actually, I have seen people skip those documents, right? But if you even if you go in for any kind of implementation, those are the critical documents. At least a solution architects, okay, must go through that. Okay, especially architecture. We have an ALP guide. We have actually those details. Okay, we will be covering. At the same time, I have activated Ask Me Anything as well. So like people having any questions, so they can always ask in the platform as well. And those things definitely we will having more structure in place so that okay, you can go more and more detail about solutioning side of it. Okay, so it's the collaborative learning approach we are going to follow, and definitely it will be more helpful for all those things. Fourth mission is very important, and I will be giving you, if it required, one more extra week for this. Okay, in between mission 1, 2, 3, we will be doing very fast. But for mission 4 and mission 5, I understand it will take time. And whatever product you are going to implement, it is not necessary that you will be meant. So let's say you will be implementing giving the same example, okay, of your Success Labs Academy, the industry which I have given. Let's say you have one industry, okay. Let's say it may be utility industry, okay, you are implementing, okay. Then in that case, you don't have to basically think of implementing the entire thing for entire population, let's say 5,000 people or 10,000 people. Rather, you will be picking up, let's say at least you create one legal entity, 5-4 departments, under that 4-5 people, okay, not more than 20-30 people, right? Then you play around those small population. Okay, so that is what I'm expecting. It's not like the entire real-time means big project. There's a scaling. So definitely, if you are successful in doing a small MVP, okay, minimum viable project, I'm sure Same thing you can do also for 10,000, 50,000, 1 lakh employees as well. Okay. So that is the power of scaling, but I expect you to do start small, and that is again covering almost every scenario. Okay, and those scenarios you'll be getting our real time some BRD will be providing. So what is a BRD? Anyone is aware of? You might not have heard in SuccessFactor. There's no official BRD, by the way. Okay, and there is no official user stories also. Okay, so these are the two things actually I have used in my projects. In some of the major big companies, they use it. But in SuccessFactor, actually, by the way, there is no compulsion to use such kind of a document. We usually use workbooks. Okay, but again, workbooks are little technical nature, as I say, and it is good for consultant, but not good, very good for clients if they do not understand the 100% of it. Right. So that is what actually I will refer basically to all the things means in this kind of scenario you start with small activities, the BRD and all these user stories and all, then actually we will be going for the remaining part of it. Okay, so this is the mission number 4, where we will be focusing more on the implementation side of it, and we will be looking at how much, so based on your scenario, whatever the industry you have been allocated, okay, how much you can implement. Okay, how much you can, I know in the demo environment, if you're doing, you may not doing all kind of integrations and all this is definitely you'll be realizing this in the project, but at least you should be aware of it. So what are the integration points, what are the APIs available, whether those can be integrated with a third party or not. So those kind of a mimic, okay, at least a mock one, we will be performing this. And I will be giving a real time scenarios where actually if you are implementing recruiting, right? So there are a lot of integrations these days with AI and other background verification, assessment center tools, right? So those things, and I will be giving a real time these things as how you can integrate those products, okay, with success factors. Okay, so those kind of cycle and all regarding your testing also, to ensure all of your testing scenarios are covered, right? So that is something we'll be targeting in the mission number 4, which is your realization page, or so exactly you'll be implementing the things. Okay. Then finally you will be having a deploy. Okay. So this is again, as I say, so in a typical project, you will be having a cutover activities, data migration activities, but for this project, for this hackathons, I will say, even if you're having 20 employees, 30 employees in your project, so start doing this activity at a small scale, okay? And you at least use all kind of import export what we have, okay, functionalities, data migration functionalities, okay? So let's see, do that in your demo environment or whatever server you are having, okay? Let's try to do that, mimic that, okay? And then I will be also talking about what are the typical transition strategy once you deploy, so that is something we will be covering, how to transition from a typical implementation project in operations. And also you might have already have done similar projects. You will be sharing stories. Okay, so in the upcoming days, I will be also asking your experience in a project, how you transition and all, so that it will be also beneficial. So it will be more of an interactive hackathons as well. It's not like that only I am speaking and others are remaining just listener. Right. Then once it is done, we will be moving to mission number 6. In the mission number 6, it is all about your optimization. In optimization, so you will be having we'll talk about how we can refine those activities or integrations we have done it, what are the best practices, and post go live, how we can stabilize your project product. Okay, so those things we'll be covering. And also one of the main thing, many of the organizations, consultants, even they do not know, there is something called SAP calm. Anyone is aware of if it is an SAP calm? If you're watching this live, or just to let me know if you are not aware of, type no. If you know, okay, no. Okay, so we have SAP calm is again you can find out. So I will giving a challenge today as well. This is a SAP calm learning. Okay, so basically you can go for it, and there is a free training available. Okay, so introducing SAP Cloud ALM, and by the way, this is a free. Okay, and also people who are having licenses of SAP SuccessFactors still comes as a free. And 90% of the clients in the world, I see that they don't know about it. So that's a challenge, because because of lack of the awareness actually. That's nothing else. Okay. So also, if you want to achieve the certificate, I challenge you that you achieve before the second mission, right? And who will be completing this record of achievement and publishing in LinkedIn, they are going to get a very good gift from my side. It's a virtual digital gift. And complete this SAP Cloud ALM. This is an application lifecycle management tool. And this is exclusively you can utilize for the testing. Okay. Any kind of testing you are doing it, right? And you will be, once you're aware of this tool, at least you will be able to know that what are the things, test cases, you can monitor those things. It's not like Excel. I know that 95% of the consultants worldwide, they use Excel sheet. Even the clients also, they're very good in Excel sheet. If any issue comes in, they put a screenshot in the Excel sheet and share with the consultants and all. But that's not a very good way of doing it. So in that, you cannot track actually whether that issue is resolved or whether it is how many, when that is, what is the root cause of it, which process is linked to, right? All those things you cannot do. Okay. So that is a topic which you will be covering in brief. And before that, I recommend. So this is our mission number 6. But before we start the mission number 6, I recommend to complete this so that it will be easy for you whenever we will be going to talk about it. This is in a little bit more in depth, right? But this is also, I also recommend as a consultant, right? It is not your only job to provide the consulting, only part you know, but also there are certain things which you are already should be aware of over and above success factors. And this is also can be integrated in the sense all the test scripts. Okay, if you go to any other test scripts also, they have providing these days SAP Cloud ALM format test script. Okay, has anyone observed that? If you have observed any kind of best practice, right? If I go to help.sap.com, right? And if I go to any of the modules, let's say I will talk about talent management, right? And let's say I will pick up one module that's recruiting, right? And if I go inside it, you will be finding materials related to the best practices. And inside the best practices, as I say that, we will be having your test scripts, right? So test scripts, you must be aware of it, how do you download all these test scripts and all. But nowadays, they are bringing in like a lot of test cases, test scenarios, right? With those test scripts can be directly uploaded to your ALM. Okay, so that is something I will highly recommend. And you should explore this, and you can see that many of these test cases are designed in a way, right? So you will be finding that, right? Those can be directly implemented, directly can go to your SAP Cloud ALM. Okay? Although you can do the same thing in an Excel sheet, that's okay. Traditionally, we have been doing that for a long time, right? But what you can do also, whatever the test cases, whatever you are seeing there, right? And those things can be also uploaded to your ALM. If you search by ALM also, right? So they will, I think, they have not covered it, but you can. Okay, so basically, you can bring in those all this cloud ALM things. Basically, all the test case can move into this particular product. So that is something I will say highly recommend. License, no, actually we do not require. So basically, if you are having an existing license and you do not require an SAP CAM or SAP CALM license. So if you see that also, you will be finding that SAP CAM is actually free. Okay? SAP CAM free license. So for SuccessFactors consultant, yes, please, I am aware of it that if you are having SuccessFactors licenses, SAP nowadays offer it. So previously it was not. Okay, so you'll be finding that you can see that is free. Okay, so this is actually, but 90% of the customers do not know it. Even the partners do not promote it. Okay, as a consultant, I recommend you promote it. Cloud ALM is free for customers with a SuccessFactors, SAP Enterprise Support Maintenance, or any of the cloud subscription you are having, SuccessFactors or those things. And definitely this is a free. Okay, so if you see that, and those details are actually in the integrations document as well, you will be finding. Okay, so that is something I highly recommend you promote it in your organization and let me know the results. Okay, so much beneficial. And basically, okay, so this is also, there are blogs for this. I highly recommend, and you explore it. Okay, so yeah, so I think hope you've learned something new today, and I always bring in these things. So I do not want people to learn the same thing, right? But also how to implement all these things. Also, you may require a technical consultant, but it's not so easy. Step by step, there are guides available, and it is like people who are coming from SAP, basically, if you have seen Solman, Solution Manager, okay, if you've worked on Solman kind of a tool, it's a advanced version, much advanced version of that kind of a tool, right? So that is something, okay, you will find. So you can see landscape management. This is the screenshots, okay. Basically, if you are integrating your SAP Cloud ALM, right? And if you are integrating SuccessFactors as well, it's much easy. Actually, what it will tell you also, it will monitor your use cases, whatever the use cases, whatever the solutions you are implementing. Whenever you're testing, is also it has a capability to, it will map to also proactively tell that, okay, this kind of issues may come. Okay. It's not like reactive testing, also it's proactively, you can also know that where are the possible issues, although we have a check tool and all, but it's more advanced, and also there are many things you will be explored. Okay, so I highly recommend promote it. It may be a small project, but it will be definitely beneficial in your organization. Right? So that is what actually an optimize in case if you already have implemented project and all. So I would highly recommend to explore this, okay, as a new learning, as a new skill set, right? And definitely to add on to your whatever success factor you are learning over and above. This is something an additional skill set. Definitely, it is although it is a testing toolkit, but do not look at it only for testing. The multiple other opportunities to learn as well. So the multiple other applications as well, which we'll be learning in the lesson number 6. Okay, so that is the lesson number 6 I talked about. Then moving on to the next part of it. Let me go there. So missions, up to my mission number 6, this is more about the product project, what are the programs you are implementing and all. And also I have seen many people are actually inquiring for certifications and all. So mission number 7, which we'll be talking about, mission number 7 will be more about certification preparation. Okay, I'm sure many of you are already planning for certification, or many of you have already done some kind of certifications in success factors, right? But that is something in mission number 7 we'll be focusing on. It will be more towards preparing their any of the specifications in success factor. Okay, so that we keep it as an elevate. Okay, so that you elevate your career progression inside the organization, or if you're looking for a job outside the organization, certifications are really essential. At least the entry level, without certifications, nobody is going to give an entry, especially in the consulting world, right? In the client sector, still we have a, it's okay not to have a certification, but even if you're having a knowledge, that's okay. But in the consulting world, if you're targeting any consulting industry and organizations in success factors and all, definitely certifications are must. Okay. So that is something we will see that how we will progress, and now I want more and more people to certify in multiple modules. Okay, although it is good to have specialize in 1 or 2 specific modules, but I want people to have multiple certifications. Why? Because you never know which module will be on demand. Maybe recruiting onboarding is on high demand these days, right? But maybe some other modules will be also on demand, right? It's better to have certification, not only for the organization's saying, but also from your interest. Also, you can pick up 1 certification or 2 certification additionally. Okay, so depending upon your the trend and also interest. So that is something in mission number 7 that we are going to focus and see that how we are going to expedite for that, and that only we have taken some steps in our community. So we have you must be knowing it, we have certification track. Okay, so we do have a certification track, as well as for every for every courses also we do have specifically. Okay, so for recruiting people who are preparing for those certifications and all, we have a dedicated track for them. At present, it has not much that content. Okay, but as I say, I'm activating this from this hackathon, and so that with more and more people join, and we will be following anyway the official guide of SAP. But at the same time, people who have appeared any recent certifications and all, they can share their experience, and okay, so those kind of critical questions, the probable questions, okay, we will be discussing in those. So we'll be having a dedicated workshops for that, right? And so that more and more people can get benefited from that, right? So that is the plan. And also at a course level also, we do have a certification track. At present, we do not have that much tractions now. But going forward, my goal is maybe one of you can volunteer, okay, for any specific certification. Okay, you have already done that certification. If you want to guide, okay, as a volunteer for that particular module, right? So that is something we have planned. And let's say you are going for Employee Central, okay. Let's say I will pick up one module, and inside Employee Central, we would be having a track. As I say, we do have a 20 tracks, okay. But as I say, all the 20 tracks are not activated based on the demand. Again, we are more focused on the implementation, as you know. So for that reason, in our modules, we will be having more videos, more content in the implementations only. But other content still will be expanding as we progress. Okay, so that is something recently we have done it for QA, okay, all the test scripts, okay, for all individual each and every scenario. Similarly, more and more, so for certification also we are activating. Okay, and we will be having workshops dedicated for that as well in the coming days based on the demand again. Okay, so suppose you are having more students, okay, in a particular certification and they want to prepare, okay, even if two people are actually planning, right? So we will be having an inner circle, and we will be having a closed group, and so that we can discuss, right? So official materials, and similarly we will be having an interview specific track as well. So EC is already fulfilled, okay, and we have a dedicated course as well. For we have separated course for, okay, somebody requested that we need a interview specific course as well, so they don't have to go through the entire course. Rather, if they want to go for only interview preparation, okay, so that is something I have not included in any membership, but based on the students demand, actually I'm giving that access. Okay, so if you're already an existing member, you can get access of it in case if you're preparing for those interviews, right? So that's again a workshop model. So we have this one, the course recently we have launched, and if you're already having access to the main course, you don't have to go for that, because the same content, so same content is actually have been replicated there. Okay, all the, especially this is now almost complete for data model, for every categories of things you'll be getting questions, workflow, okay, almost everything. Okay, so that is something we've completed, and more and more modules we'll be introducing. And I also look forward to your commitment, your contributions as well. Suppose you have appeared for any interviews, what kind of questions you have received and all. So you can always post it in the communities, and we'll pick it up, and we'll be mentioning your name as well. This has been contributed by so and so. Okay, so that is something we will definitely encourage everyone to do that. Okay? So that is the community will be helping each other. So that's the intention behind this. Okay. So that is covering your elevate pitch. So here basically certification, all kind of interview preparation, right? When I say career preparation, that is your professional growth. Okay, we will be conducting those kind of mock interviews. You can also volunteer. Okay, suppose if you want to conduct a mock interview with someone, suppose you've already appeared and you have cracked those interviews and all, right? That is something we are planning, and Mr. Seven will talk about that more. Then other than that, we do have, let's go to the next part of it. So as it is an introductory session today, so I will be covering all the 9 missions, what we are going to cover, so and so. Then going forward, we will be focusing deep dive into each and every missions. So mission 8 is all about the innovate. So any product or service, if you are not innovating, I don't see any growth. Same is applicable for your career as well. Okay? So not only you have to identify what is happening in the SAP world, that's okay. Okay, but at the same time, you have to also think about what additional things are going outside SAP world. Okay, so you have to think on the entire ecosystem. Okay, and for that you have to have a research mindset. Okay, so being I'm saying that not bragging myself, but I have seen people and people working the same project, same product, same company for a long time, but no growth. I have seen that kind of a career point of view, whether it is a innovations point of view, from a research point of view, see that I have seen that, and also people are not very happy what they do, right? But I can proudly say that, happy to say that in my, at least in my our communities, I have not seen that kind of a trend. People coming to me, and if they're having some such issues and all, they share with me openly, and I guide them accordingly. Okay, so when I say innovate, you have to have a research mindset. Okay, so when I say research, it is not means, it doesn't mean that PhD or doctorate. Okay, so that's one part of it, definitely. But I will say at present, I will say other than SAP SuccessFactors, I have been invested a lot of my learning in multiple categories, but I will say from HR point of view, I will say we have basically, I am following, I'm not told that in my earlier sessions, but I'm a proud member of AIHR. So there is a community where it's a Netherlands-based company, and they are very good in terms of research. And so in the latest trends, whatever we are having and all, especially in, so you find AIHR and I follow them for a while. And this is, I will say that if anyone is interested, if you're not having a background of HR, by the way, okay, so that is something good for you to start with. Okay, Academy to Innovate HR. Okay, even if you're having an MBA HR like me, but still there are certain things. MBA, if you have done it a long back and all, so that is something more academic, right? But it is more practical, I will say. So there are a lot of tools, toolkits. Okay, even if from a process point of view. Okay, so they are having multiple things you can explore. A lot of content is also free. Okay. So good thing is you can also, although I have taken as a premium plan for it, but there are very good content. So if you talk about trends, right, that is something, or some of the materials for where the world is going on, right? So you can see this is a very brief way they've explained everything. Okay. So this is one thing I always like. They are very well structured templates, well structured content, and also research based. It's not like a random thing. So based on some research, and they came up with some such kind of solution, such kind of a template. So this is something actually I've been invested in my own career, and I always recommend if suppose somebody asks me, right? So this is one of the good resource at present I'm following, and another one is you must be knowing them, knowing this person, Bruce Person Academy. So I'm also following him since my Deloitte days, and as a guru, and especially for HR tech. Okay? So a lot of things actually he brings in feature and from a research point of view, and a lot of materials also SAP latter point of time, other product company also based on his research, and also he is an analyst, HR analyst. A lot of materials, a lot of so if budget is not a constraint, you can go for a while at least. Also, there are also free materials available. Okay, so like I'm pursuing few of the courses there as well. So it is more from a just to expand your thought process. Okay, so like there are many other things we do not have in success factor. By the way, success factor is actually okay. So there are a lot of things nowadays coming up, and those are influenced by the industry and what this industry thought leaders, okay, they are thinking about, right? So that is something I will say that at least go for what are the things they're offering, and even if you're not buying those courses, but at least you can explore what are there are a lot of posts also that these people are posting on LinkedIn and other spaces, right? So at least you should be aware of it. Okay, what is an agile organization? What is a cohort-based learning? What is the benchmarking? Okay, a lot of things you will be finding, and also I will be time to time I will be also sharing whatever I have learned with you in upcoming workshops and hackathons, whatever, right? So that is something I will say that this is another two things I thought of sharing with you. Other than that, from a research point of view, I will say that especially why it is needed to understand the trend as well. So although in HR, our success factor also, they have a research system. Okay? We don't have to basically, many people actually they forget, but they also have their own research team. Okay, so whatever the influence products they are bringing in, right? So based on those research, any kind of product roadmap also they are building it, right? So depending upon those roadmaps, all the things are actually based on that. Okay? So they also depend upon those kind of research. I will also recommend how to read those research material. Do not only focus on what the product's offering, but what the product is going to offer in the future, right? So that is also I recommend. So you can see that. Okay, so this is something they have recently. All the recent articles in your free time instead of watching, being watching any other things. Okay, I highly recommend to at least explore this, and you can definitely put your your email IDs and all. Definitely, you will be getting the free access to it. Okay, so that is something. A lot of research material in SAP website also they are filling it in, and they try to bring into those things the reality. Okay, so this research may be a little bit thinking ahead of the reality. Okay, sometimes it looks a little philosophical and 3-4 years before they think about it, right? But you will be seeing that a lot of things is coming into picture, right? So that is something I will highly recommend. Okay, also look into those kind of things. Full of videos, more short videos and all. time to time we'll be having such activities also in our community. Okay, so we'll be having some contest for this. I'm planning for this year. Okay. So that was the plan for your mission number 8. Simultaneously, we'll be looking at your innovations, what are the projects you are going to implement for that industry in the hackathon. But at the same time, I will be also measuring. So every missions, I will be measuring your success based on some criteria, based on some value deliverables. Okay, people who are joining the mission. And if you are thinking that I will not be able to complete the mission, do not join the hackathon. Okay, if you are joining the hackathons, that means you're committed to finish all the 9 missions. Okay, so that is I'm clear. I'm giving a clear instructions here, and whatever possible support I will be providing, the entire team, entire community will be helping you. But once you join this hackathons, ensure you are completing all each and every missions, and you will be guided. Okay, so all the things will be guided, and that is the commitment from all of us, and we will be doing it together. Even I'm also planning to do myself one particular module once again, right? Even if I'm aware of it, right? So once it is done, so you will be towards the end, we'll be having how we will be clubbing together all the things, okay, all the 8 things, out of 8 missions. And as I say, we'll be focusing more on the industry. At the same time, some additionally, we'll be learning. Anyone have responded to an RFP before in any of the project and previously? If you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching now live, has anyone participated in any RFP pre-sales activities before? Yes, if it's yes, you can type yes or no in the chat.
Hi, NILADRI. I was part of Watson, IBM Watson, which was
Okay.
using AI sensors,
Okay.
and
Okay.
based on that, it provides us with information like wherein I worked for one project wherein it was a coal manufacturing unit, and whatever slump they call, right, byproduct of coal, that has to go to the dump yard at a certain temperature and at a certain pace. So these AI related sensors would pass the information that if it is
Okay.
going in proper way or not. So yeah, I was part of that project.
Great. Was it recently or long back?
Oh, this was almost 5 years back.
Oh, okay. Then that point of time now has been a lot of involvements. Innovations already happen. Okay, that's good to know that. Okay, so we will be doing similar activities. So I've already planned for those kind of activities in our communities as well. People who do not get an exposure to those kind of activities, you can take an advantage of it. So let's say I'll talk about one of the activities. I'll just give you an example. What I have done in the recent hackathons, not a hackathon, just a bootcamp is going on. So I've given them a agricultural case study. Okay, so if you can see my screen. So there are for every industry, I have given one case study for every group or student, right? So this is a agriculture, although it comes under IT, I have, because it's an agro tech, so for that reason I kept it under IT industry. And we do have, like, we're not limiting ourselves to HR. Okay? Although you people will be focusing on HR, HR is one of the initiative for that organization. Okay, so how this initiative looks like. So this organization is having, I will elaborate more case studies and more about it. But if you can see, for an agriculture organization, which is focused on the technologies and all, they do have other things as well. Because like I mentioned, agri-tech innovation, they will be having smart irrigation, AI-powered precision farming, all those things are there. Okay, but at the same time, we do have they are having a digital HR transformation where you people are really going, means having focus on this. Okay, so what I have done is actually I have divided into entire things into a tabular format. What this organization is having, these are the different initiatives. Although so you have to understand again, this one I will be explaining is more of an EM activity, enterprise architecture activity, but you should be aware of not only the HR but overall business also, because HR is a contribution, having the contribution to the business at the end of the day. So you can see that for every initiative, we have broken down into different ideas, and under ideas, I'm using epics. Epics is a term people who have worked on agile methodology, they will be knowing that. So it's again terminology, which is again covering multiple projects and programs, okay, at a higher level, right? So from an HR point of view, if I give you an example, you can understand this much more better. Okay, so these 5 terminologies I'm going to explain you in this case, how for this case study, agricultural tech, agrotech case study, the organization, let's say the name is Agro, okay, and in that organization, let's say currently we are in 2025, and the CEO is having 5 years plan. What are their initiatives, and they want to achieve it by all the things 2029. Okay, so that is the 11 initiatives this organization or this okay, agro company, agrotech industry, they are planning to cover, they want to achieve it, right? So that is something I will quickly brief you, and so that same thing is applicable based on your whatever the case studies you will be choosing it. Okay, so how I have divided technically. So digital HR transformation, it is your typical initiative. We call it as a initiative. Okay, and what are the possible ideas came from the business that they want to, why they want to take this initiative? That will be under, let's say, ideas, because the request maybe from a RVP or overall people transformation team or HR transformation team. Okay, so they want to streamline all the HR processes. They want to enhance the employee experience, and they want to also have a clear-cut data-driven HR decision making. It should not be, bias-based or any people-based. Okay, so these are 3 ideas came up from that organization. Okay, and how they're going to achieve it? So they have to convert in those ideas to realize these ideas, right? They have to have some epics. Epics again, as I say, so you have to implement certain things. Otherwise, this to make the strategy a reality, they have to implement maybe a cloud-based HR system, okay? And they have to implement your typical employee self-service portal. They have to create analytics dashboard. I've given examples here, okay? So it can be more and more examples can come up, but I'm just giving 2 or 3 case studies examples here. What are the possible way? But when I say again a cloud-based HR system in the market, there are so many. Like your Workday, we have your SuccessFactors, Oracle Fusion, lot of many other Darwin Box. Your so many products are there. Which product to choose? Okay, or okay, so those kind of stuff. Okay, so that is something I will say that in the projects. Let's say the client has decided to choose SuccessFactors. Okay, so then that will be coming under your typical project. And before project, you will be giving that name to that program as well. So the difference between program and project. So basically program will be a larger landscape where you will be having, let's say you will be having multiple projects, okay, under HR. Okay, so if it is a large organization, so let's say different teams are acting, and you will be having a program manager, you will be having a project manager. Okay, so the program management can go for 3-4 years, but inside that each and every project you will be implementing 6 to 8 months or 6 months to 1 year, like that, right? So that is the way we have divided into in this part, and you will be allocated, okay, depending upon your interest, which industries and all, whatever you activated, right? So you will be part of, let's say, you'll be picking it one of the product, one of the project, or the industries, and let's say for this we have named as the Agro People Empowerment Program. Okay, and under that you will be executing success factor. Okay, so whatever the things are. And this is something I've given an example like chatbot integration, mobile app development, all these things. But this is the kind of a real-time case studies we are going to get it. And this is the actual thing which I have brought in this case study. What is the exactly, so you can read through it, what is this all industry is all about, and why they want to execute this project. Okay, so that is something I've explained in a very brief way, executive briefing kind of material, and how they're going to getting benefited from this project, implementing success factor or whatever, right? So that is something actually I have elaborated. And also, once it is done, actually, I have given a case studies. Okay, after this, at present, I have not activated all the modules. So depending upon the interest, and I will be activating those modules going forward. Okay, so if I say here, so we will start with here at present because EC, whenever here comes EC module, it starts with the position management. Okay, so when it comes to position management, again, I want, okay, not only you to contribute as a consultant, but also you have to wear a hat of clients as well. Okay, so that is something I will be guiding you how you can also prepare a BRD document. Okay, although it is a typically job of your client, okay, or a business analyst. But I have seen if you bought in any of the US market or European market, okay, I have seen very much India, I have seen very less, but I have seen such kind of template. People use it, and you will be following a. I'm given a sample template. Okay, and this is again agile methodology I'm following, and where you would be having can give a name to your project. Okay, then these are the different things you'll be documenting. Okay, so although it is not a mandatory thing to do in a typical success factor project, it is not a deliverable, but to have more clarity and conciseness for this case studies and all. So I recommend to use such a template. Okay. So this template will be having multiple things and what is in scope, what is in out of scope. Okay. So I'm sure all organizations follow similar kind of a templates in their contract and all those things. But technically, this is called BRD, Business Requirement Document. Okay. This is something really good. Okay, if you are doing it, and I recommend people to do this. Not every section of it, at least whatever is needed. And for me, most important part is here, requirements. Okay. So all this kind of requirements you will be capturing here. Okay. And also what I will be doing for you, if you are actually implementing and all, although I have some of the requirements in my space, I will be sharing the document. Okay. And also if you have worked in that particular industry, let's say one of you have already worked in the telecom industry or utility industry, right? You can also contribute. You can even take participation. I'm giving an opportunity to you as well to improve the existing BRT. So I will be giving to those business requirement document, and I will be asking you to basically enhance the quality of that requirement. Maybe some unique requirements you had in your project, right? And that you want to incorporate in the contribute in that BRT. So that is a contribution point of view I will recommend. And this otherwise it's a client facing document. Okay, so client is responsible for maintaining this. Okay, but as a consultant, you should also be aware of it. What is inside the scope of the project? What is out of scope of the project? Okay, and why the client is actually implementing. There is a section called business driver. Maybe cost saving, improving productivity, automating the things, right? So those things are actually really part of this. And what is the current process? What is the proposed process, right? So all those things will be captured. The most important part is this one: the requirements, categories, what is good to have, what is must be, you must have, right? So all the things. If you have worked in any kind of RFP, request for proposal document during pre-sale stage and all for that client, or you can collect that document also from a pre-sales team, right? So that is something you can always do that. That will be captured in this document. Okay. This is actually I'll be guiding you basically how to prepare this document, and also I will be providing the AI prompts as well. Okay, how to execute this very fast way. Okay, and people who are joining in, or people who are coming from business background. Okay, if you do not have any background, if you're watching this in YouTube or in my platform, I will tell you that how to prepare a solid BRD, business requirement document. There is a saying that you must have heard about it: a problem well defined is half solved. What does it mean? If you are defining the problem, any of the problem statement or any kind of requirements in a very detailed way, the consultant life becomes easy. Okay, so they can interpret whether it can be doable, or it requires some kind of a enhancement or customization, or if it is not doable, whether it is a roadmap of SAP the future or not, right? So those kind of decisions becomes easier, so that you don't have to worry. Okay, so for that reason, so this is a skill itself, how to define, prepare such a kind of a documents in art, by the way. But I will be also having a session on this, although I have taken in the past. But we will be having exclusive workshop for this as well. If people who want, if you want anyone in your if you are aware of, so you can also invite them to join. That will be a free session for everyone. Anyone can join. But I will exclusively provide this recording and this guide only to community members, and we will be part of this, and they will be understanding, right, each and every requirement. And also many times we'll be having NFR. NFR, what does it mean? Non-functional requirements. Okay, those kind of any kind of maybe a infrastructure related or any kind of system behavior, anything not directly related to the module. Okay, but this kind of requirements also may come. Okay, so those are the two major things categories in the BRD I'm expecting. And so it is up to you. If you are interested, you can participate. It's again optional for you. Okay, because in projects we are not supposed. It's not a mandatory thing to do. Okay, but it's good to have, good to know all this BRD and all, right? I have done a lot of things, such activities in my past. Whenever I was working for a multiple highly complex project and all, so they used to have a BRD in place. Okay, and we used to go before any preparing any projects, any kind of such a things. We used to go for those BRD first, then actually the RFP first, the request for proposal, and from the RFP they derive all the requirements, they put in a document for this BRD document. Then we capture all those BRDs, each and every requirements, we convert them into a user story. Okay, so this is the best way to, even if you're implementing success factors, if you're utilizing such a kind of a templates and all, it's much easy. Life becomes easy, and for any implementation, you can track it properly, and everything can be mapped with each other, right? So once you have the user requirements, you will be converted into a user stories. Okay, so user stories, this kind of template you will be formulating. This is again we follow agile user story template. So what kind of requirements? So you do not have to say that as a client, I want basically a feature. Basically, employees would be able to download the payslip themselves. Okay, or maybe immediately they don't have to depend upon the HR. Okay, so instead of saying that way, I will say that as an employee, I want my payslip, okay, over a chat. Okay, I don't have to go to anywhere in the success factor download and all those things, right? Over chat, so that I don't have, I will be not wasting my time in navigating where my payslip is inside the portal, right? And that is also now a reality. Previously, it was not. If you have implemented success factor, your typical AI tool and all, right? So that is something, is a reality. People can go and really, they download their payslip directly over a chat. Okay. Now, in some companies also it comes in WhatsApp. They have done a WhatsApp integrations. Okay, that's a custom thing. But by the way, those are the possibilities out there. But this user story, you should know how to prepare it, and also what is the value of it. Okay, is a client, I can give some random requirements as well. That is fine. But as a consultant, you should also think of, analyze it. You should not be an order taker. Okay, so it is not like the client is giving some requirements. You're just saying yes to satisfy the client and all. But it also basically first analyze. Always use the term, the favorite term, my consulting world. When consulting world, people say, I will come back. Okay, so it's not, do not say if you do not know 100% whether it's possible or not, right? So we have to think about it. Okay, so any kind of user requirements we'll be following in such a kind of a template. I call it we call it a style user story template, and it will be having a short description on each and every user stories. That is an actual requirement with a value. Okay, so if I'm downloading that payslip for WhatsApp, definitely I will be saving time. Okay, so I'll be giving another industry example. Like recently, for the last 2 years at my home city, basically from electricity, Tata Power has started that they have taken up. Okay, so all kind of bills. Okay, I don't have to go to their website. Okay, I used to do that earlier, right? But nowadays over WhatsApp, the bill comes in, and over WhatsApp only I pay the entire payment. Everything's happening, right? So it's so smooth and easy. Okay, I don't have to go anywhere in the portal and all those things. Same experience. That is a kind of a consumer experience I talked about, or customer experience I talked about, right? Same kind of consumer grade experience we also want in our HR technology space. Okay, so that will happen only when your employees, you are actually the requirements, whatever you are gathering. Okay, so that should be solid. At the same time, it should be having some value element to it. Okay, so then how you'll be accepting that value? So what are the acceptance criteria? That means, so if the products would be so and so, so and so. Okay, this would be a single click, or okay, it should not be navigating too much, right? And those also priority you can set it up, and those estimation definitely the client consultants will be giving, whether if it is possible, how much time it will take, or is it a part of the standard implementation. If it is a custom portlet or custom implementation, definitely you have to quote your times and effort accordingly. So that is a kind of a standard templates. Actually, you can customize this template. But by the way, this is actually I want you people to explore and start using such a kind of template, at least in my project. Okay, part of the industry project I'm offering. Okay, so that is something. As I initially I have started with the position management, because that is usually people start with. So in the platform foundation, then position management, then your typical your data model in EC and all, right? But based on your interest, based on your modules, whatever you want to implement. So I will be allocating those industry first. then inside the industry, whatever module you want to that I will be activating. So that it will feel like you are actually implementing a project. And also at the end, you will be getting a certificate downloaded from here, and you can also plot it, okay, in your resumes and all. And I will be evaluating each and every project, okay, whatever actually you will be doing it, okay. So that is the plan for this hackathon. At least we will not be having anything random. Like suppose I'm teaching, let's say, related topic related to your requisition creation. Okay, so I will not be saying random requisition. Rather, you have to create a requisition for agro industry. In this particular, no, I will be giving you. Okay, so in the BRD, you will be having a proper job description that only you have to follow, or you can innovate on top of that. But it will be looking something reality, and you have to upload that, by the way. Okay, so I will not be leaving you without doing assignments. Okay, so be ready for that. So earlier, I made it a little, relaxed. Okay, people were just coming and going, and they were not participating in those hackathons, in the specific activities and all. But this time, we have ensure everybody is getting, participating those actively, and also they're understanding those topics thoroughly. Okay, then only you will be able to upload your assignments. Okay, here. And if you have any questions, definitely you can post your questions as usual. Okay, we have options, or any errors you are getting. If while executing those assignments, we always post it here. Now we will be happy helping you in solving that as well. Okay, so this is a more from a client perspective. So let's say you have received all the client requirements and all. Then after submitting, so in recent, what happened in my recent batch, so I have divided the entire group into two parts. One is another one set of people in the clients, another set of people with consultants. Okay, so clients, and they have used to give all the kind of requirements. Those people are very new, by the way. They're coming from HR background, domain expert, and those people are actually help them preparing such a kind of a documents. Okay, and they will be challenging the people who will be consulting. Okay, so basically it's another group. So where what the client requirements, I told them that it should not see SuccessFactors, what SuccessFactors is offering. They should think like HR. They should think like what are the challenges in their industry, okay, and give the requirements. And it's up to the consultants. They will be analyzing the user story. So whatever the client is offering, those BRD, business requirements and all, and those user stories, as a consultant, you're going to analyze each and every user stories, and you have to do a high-level analysis of each and every user stories. Okay, and whatever the feasibility. So at present, I'm given a generic one, but depending upon your module, so I kept it generic for now. But when you start working on a project, so basically you'll be getting a real user stories template, the real user story requirements. Okay, and I will be also involved in that and help you in the analysis of it. And it's like a fun. Okay, so maybe you are having 200 requirements for recruiting, right? Maybe it is possible that 150s are fulfilled by SuccessFactors. Remaining 50 is not possible if you think. Okay, so we can have a brainstorm. Okay, we can have a brainstorming session on that in this hackathon only, and we can come together and we can discuss. Or we suppose if it requires more time, we will be conducting a workshops on that. Okay, so maybe we will call it as the art of possible workshop. Okay, where we'll be thinking all about possibility, whether it's possible or not possible. Okay, maybe I am thinking not possible, but you have got a solution for it, right? You found some workaround for it, or any kind of process improvement you thought about it. You can bring in that feature. Okay? So that is kind of like, it is not like I'm knowing everything. I'm also learning. But at the same time, I want your different perspectives so that we can analyze together, and sustain activities will be easy when you go to a real project in a real world. So that is something I want. I wanted to start with this. I never started with this any other project but the last 2-3 years whenever I was teaching. But I feel there is a need for it. If you're going directly to the workbook, it's become very dry actually. Okay. So even if you're having some requirements and people just randomly implement the features and solution of it, okay, then after that, that is not sustainable for a long term, right? But this is something actually coming from a EA background, enterprise architecture background. I thought of this time, this hackathon, I will be introducing it. I have introduced it, and also there's a beta batch which with him I'm testing it, whether it is there, I'm getting the responses from them as well. But now actually I'm implementing in this. Today is the first mission, as I say, and this is going to be a fun for everyone. Okay, and multiple industries, as I say, we're activating, and This is just a glimpse I have given here in this today's first mission. Okay, so that is the plan, as I said, and going further, and as I see transformation and all these things, right? That's okay. Now the structure is like that. Only we'll be having a 9 missions, and each missions will be focusing on specific tracks, and we are aligned, by the way, with SAP Activate. Okay, so whatever the SAP Activate methodologies SAP is following. Okay, so we will be adding some new things here, but technically we are aligned with that methodology, whatever the process and all, but we will be focusing on industries. It will be industry driven, business oriented rather than technology oriented and all. This will highly focused on business and industry, and what SAP is offering, what is possible and not possible. We will be having a series of art of possible workshops. Okay, where if you think that suppose out of 200 requirements, 50 requirements are not fulfilled by SAP, right? So those 50 will be discussing. Okay, if it is 150s are done, how it is done, you have your job, and you will be documenting those things entirely, submitting in the in our platform. But whatever is not possible, if you're thinking about it, then we will be conducting a separate workshop depending upon the module. That will not be part of the hackathons. I'm just clearly mentioning it because I'm expecting more people to join in the coming hackathons, and also if we are having multiple modules, very difficult to cover those in the single sessions like this. Okay, so for that reason, hackathons are agnostic of the modules to be general catch-up points like this, and where you will be also contributing. And this is something they say 9 missions and multiple tracks. So 15 tracks, actually more tracks. Actually, I'm actually just mentioned you'll be having more tracks on this. So I will be focusing on. I will be sharing that. And you to time will be getting all the schedules and everything. Okay, so all the details. So mostly this time will be going on, and also for people who are not joining and not able to join, I have also got a request. So this session will be also live on the YouTube and tomorrow as well for 2 hours. So it will be active, and after that it will not be public. It will not be available in YouTube. It will be going to a YouTube general. It will not be publicly available, and it will be available in our platform. Okay. So for that reason, so that's an excuse for people who are not able to join, especially people from, I would request students from Australia and New Zealand. So because of the time zone problem, but we'll be planning something for them maybe in the coming hackathons. But for now, so we will arrange a different plan for them. They can watch the recordings in the upcoming days, as well as if they want, they can also watch a YouTube live stream tomorrow, live morning 6 o'clock or 6 to 8 o'clock. Nice. So that is the way actually forward, and this is the hackathon structure I have explained, 9 missions and all these things. Now coming to tracks, as I said, as well, we will be following the GICS standard for global industry classification standard. Now coming to the tracks, so you must be knowing it. We are following 20 tracks now. Okay, so although the hackathons are highly implementation oriented, but also, as I say, this is actually until times I've already covered. So you will be having 20 tracks, although, okay, but in the initial tracks, as I say today, and discovery sessions, discovery mission. So you should know that which product you have to decide today itself, which product you are going to implement, and also the relevant process you should be aware of it. And also I recommend you should be aware of all these tools at least, okay, like a Signavio, Aris, MSDGO, all this, at least one process modeling tool you should be aware of it. And if not, I will highly recommend. There is a view exercise available, people who are not aware of it. So there is a Signavio process maps available, publicly available. If you're having S user ID, and you should be able to access this material. Anyone has accessed this one, Signavio, in the past? SAP Signavio, which is a process modeling tool by now it is part of SAP. Anyone?
No.
Okay, no problem. So I will briefly explain that in the future, but I highly recommend that you should be aware of it a bit. Okay, so that is something. Let me log into the portal and quickly I will share with you. Basically, how does it look like? Just a minute. So I will be giving you one example. You might have seen this thing sometimes in slides format and all, but we have a online tool. Okay, we call it SAP Signavio. Okay, so if you have seen this, there is a process hierarchy. So I've given one specific example. This is from position management module. Okay, and if you want to create a position, this is the structure. You might have seen all these things. Okay, but this is actually the slide which you have seen earlier. Might be okay, but actually it has been drawn here. Okay, so this comes from here. Okay, so everything is position management is a business capability. It comes under business area called as org management. Okay, and comes under the line of business HR. Okay, and who are the possible roles, what are the input output cover, all the things you can see it here. And what are the activities? Okay, very well structured document, and this is something you can edit it as well, but that requires a license. Okay, but in the standard one, so if you're having an user ID, okay, so you will be able to access this process hierarchy. Okay, and this is called as a process collaboration hub. Okay, so it looks like a SAP point, but not a SAP point. But inside that, if you go under HR, we are having this many, value stream they call it, and we do have a group of process groups and all. So in HR, we have around 14 processes. Of course, you can see that, and these are, they call it value streams. Okay, so we have around 14 value streams. And inside again, if you go further, let's say recruiting I'll talk about, right? Then inside is the process group again. So inside, if you go further and further, this can deep dive. Okay, so this is something I highly recommend to aware of it. This is a value stream map. All these things you can see here, and these are the different diagrams. Okay, section from process wise, you have a definition of each and everything. Okay, so this is how it has been structured, and if you can deep dive into it, okay, you can see all the details about it. Okay. Detailed process, so we technically, scientifically design and all. So why it is called a collaboration hub? Because in the real time, if you're having an access to it, you can always comment also. Like suppose you're having an access, I want to understand that job profile. What does the meaning of a job profile? Or any comments also you can put it here, right? So in this way, you can also collaborate with this tool. But the thing is that requires separate license. But it's the SAP one. The SAP has offered standard one. Okay, so your client process, maybe a delta change is happening there. So you can simply copy it, and basically you can, on the top of that, you can change, and that same thing can be also done in a Microsoft Visio, and at a limited cost. And also same thing also can be done in Excel or PowerPoint as well. I have seen that people doing it. Also pen and paper people have done long back. Okay, so that is something you can do. But again, this is a hypothesis. I will say that it's a very good tool, and SAP has bought this tool now. And these things are actually, if you want to study more, if you want to learn more about it at your free time, so it comes under business transformation. Okay, so if you go to your help.sap.com, just like we do have a set of modules for HR, we have a set of modules, two modules, business transformation management. Earlier it was not there. Okay, so we have one thing is SAP Signavio, another is your SAP LeanIX. This is SAP LeanIX is a EA management tool, enterprise architecture management tool, and your Signavio is a process modeling tool. A lot of things are there inside, and it also requires separate consultant. Okay? But the thing is, everything is integrated with your typical SuccessFactors. Okay, it can be integrated. So quickly, I will show you the LeanIX as well, because I do have an academic license, because I have been pursuing my doctorate program in this. And for your reference, I will give you a context of it, just to have your glimpse. But this is again organizations that started using it, so they can monitor everything end to end. Okay, so I will give you one example. I do not want to overwhelm with a lot of things, but okay, so here you can see there are entire whatever the client will be using the product, whether it's HR process or any process, right? It can be covered into, they can be mapped into different entities, or they call it facets, by the way. Okay, so you can see that. So I talked about initiatives, right? So everything, whatever I have given you in that, right? So those can be divided into four parts. Okay, those industries example which I have given, right? So what I have used here, so under one initiative, you will be having ideas and all. So let's say this is my initiative. Okay, AI assisted learning implementation. Okay, suppose this is my initiative. Under this initiatives, okay, so I will be having multiple projects or ideas like that. So this is how you can manage in one initiative all the resources, any kind of a transformation. I will be creating a project under this, right? So I can create a transformation project under this. I want to create some survey. I want to understand how people are actually what their feedback about this, right? So all the things I can pick it up from here, right? So that is the way this tool is generally helpful. And if you want to start any product also, let's say SAP SuccessFactors, you want to start for, because I've already implemented. So for that, this is coming up. Otherwise, you can always, modify this and you can see that. Okay, you can see that this is a, for one of the product. Okay, so I say that the client was earlier using SAP HCM recruitment. Okay, so for that reason, it shows that SAP SuccessFactors recruiting has predecessors called as SAP HCM recruitment. Now they are planning to move to SuccessFactors. Okay, and this is also having a business capabilities. What is the business capability? The recruiting. So they are planning to implement recruiting module under this. They're also having a business context. So business context, I've given one example, creating a job requisition. So, okay, that's one of the example of a business context or a particular process steps I told you. Okay, and which component they are using? They call it component. What are the modules we are implementing? Okay, so they call it as a. So here we have SuccessFactors recruiting. That's what we call it an IT component, right? So in this way, I just given a small example or MVP, okay, which I have been doing in LeanIX, and saying good thing is if you are monitoring all the things, everything you can monitor. Okay, so means from a holistic point of view. Okay, suppose you are implementing a single sign-on in a SuccessFactors. Okay, and if you want to view it, you don't have to ask anyone. Rather, if you're having a view access to it, you can always go to the product and you can check it out. Single sign-on. Okay, so suppose I'm having a single sign-on recruiting. Okay, if it is available, okay, I will say yes. Okay, if it is ever not available, I will say no. Right. So I will say that system is available from one or more providers. Okay, and I will say simply save it. Okay, so that is a way I can update it, and I can always mention all these things here. Hosting, because it's a SaaS product. I'm okay with this SaaS product, right? So again, what are the technical point of view, whether it is fulfilling all the requirements or not, right? So all those details you can mention here. So let's say I will be rating SuccessFactors recruiting. It is not fully appropriate, but I will say it's okay, adequate, but some parts could be optimized. Here's why? Because let's say we do not have an AI inbuilt tool. Okay, I will say we do not have a background verification, right? Inbuilt. Okay, I will say that background verification we depend upon some other tool, and for assessment we depend upon some other tool. For AI video interview we depend upon some other tool, right? So in this way I can mention that okay, from a technical viewpoint of view, I want these things as well. Okay, so in this way, this is an additional things I'm saying you, but bigger organizations, even smaller organizations also, they can actually track all these things, not on paper and pen or email. Rather, they can start using such a kind of a tool. Okay, so you can also explain things in your interviews and all. Okay, so such kind of things are possible. Okay, so from the sourcing point of view, this is required, and this is very important from a data management point of view. I know that if whenever you're implementing any module, right, data plays a major role, especially in EC and recruiting, all this kind of modules and all. Okay, so what kind of data you are actually, okay, in data management point of view, if you are implementing any interfaces with third parties, okay, what kind of interfaces you have built it, right? That is something you can mention here, right? So any kind of API you are using it, or any kind of, yeah, so I'm just for now, I'm just making some validation API and some randomly I'm putting it here. But what kind of API you are using? So you might be have documented these things in an Excel sheet, right? But you can mention those things instead of that. Okay, so like you can mention here and maybe some very specific. Okay, all those things you can mention here. Okay, and also it cannot randomly. Suppose if it is not properly defined, you'll be getting such errors as well. Okay, but the idea is so holistically to understand there are tools available in the market, right, which make your life easy and basically holistic. Okay, to explain everything in a holistic way, and you can more and more, but basically maintain those data and make some good decisions accordingly. Okay, so that is really helpful for you. So I'm just covering this module because these are out of scope, but I'm just telling you the integration point. You can utilize such a kind of a tool in your if the client is having budget and all. Okay, so definitely they can go for such a module. So you can see that similarly, I have done it for other modules as well, succession planning, right? So if I go to succession planning, so this is under that we do have a lot of more things. Okay, so what are the processes and what are the facts it, okay, and all the capabilities, all the initiatives, which initiative this is part of. Okay? So this kind of entire end-to-end things also you'll be able to understand this way. Okay? So this is just a glimpse, but if you're interested more, and I will be actually integrate. I want people to integrate these things also into their project, so that they are not looking at HR as HR, rather so they're contributing to the business. Okay, so that is why this business transformation tools are really, really essential. Okay, I want whenever you get some time, explore this very interesting topic. And this is again a technology agnostic, not very technical, and we do not require any coding. This is the business transformation switch, and it's applicable for any modules in SAP, okay, or any industry. You can go for this. Okay, so these two tools, whenever I'll be teaching and wherever possible, I know that all of you will not be having access to this such a tool, but in case if you're fortunate enough in the futures and all, definitely, okay, you can participate if you are possible. Okay, so you should be aware of it. Okay, so that you can tell and you can differentiate yourself in your market. Okay, whenever you are getting any apply for any jobs or any opportunities coming up, you should not say that I'm not aware of it at all. Okay, so for that awareness, actually, I'm integrating these things as well. Okay, whenever you go for any kind of case studies in the projects, those things. Okay, so it will be purely business centric, as I say, industry oriented. Okay, business centric. All these hackathons will be, and you will be going for your holistic success rather than only focusing on becoming a product who's a product only knowing one product at all, right? So for that reason, as I say, product process, so in process point of view, we'll be focusing on here. As I say, SAP LeanIX is more of a strategy point of view, but SAP Signavio primarily, okay, wherever possible, SAP Signavio, and also you should be aware of other process modeling tool. It can be as simple as your, simple video as well. That is fine. Okay, so this is just an example, but you should know how to draw and what. There is also a course for it, business process modeling, but I'm not be covering. I'll just hint you that the market, there are tools available to understand these things as well. Okay, so from a product point of view, I'm sure you should be knowing it, where to go to know about the product features and functionalities and all. I always recommend that start with your official website of SAP, and if you go there itself, you have you already aware of it. People who do not know, directly go to your official website. What that if you know about the product itself. Okay, and there are hyperlinks, and you can go through those directly. And also good news is, if people also SAP is nowadays offering 30 days free trial of SuccessFactors. Okay, so you can go for that, directly available in the homepage itself, and if you go for it, and you can practice. Okay, those there are limited functionalities, I'm sure, but that is something you can try. So there are free trials available. You can see that start your free trial of SuccessFactors HCM, and it requires an official ID and 30-day basic trial. It is available in English. Okay, some basic functionalities definitely you can explore by using this. Okay, so that is something you can explore from a product point of view. Okay, so now coming back to product process and strategy, as I say, whatever I've shown you in a tool like LeanIX, it was all about the strategy, and also what I talked about right here in the case studies, right? I'm just trying to connect the dot. It should not think that randomly I'm teaching, right? So you have to see any of the industry you pick it up. I have initiatives, I have epics, I do have projects, programs, as well as those categories. Okay, so that is actually I have given it knowingly. I have given those things so that whenever you are going to that particular industry and you are going to implement, right, it should be holistic. Okay, I want people, okay, not only to drive HR transformation, but also if you get an opportunity in the future, which I did it in my past last 2 years. Okay, so let's say you are going to implement for a university, okay, which is offering XYZ courses. Okay, and if you're going for that, so you'll be able to track their initiatives, draw their epics, draw their, okay. So basically, this is the case studies which I've given here. And similar structure I followed here: initiate, ideas, epics, projects, programs. And initiative is a fact set in LeanIX, as I say. And these are the sub-component of the initiatives, sub-initiatives under that. And if I show you the LeanIX once again, same thing actually we try to capture there as well, right? So the same thing. And if I go here, basically the LeanIX, right? And here also we capture those things directly like that one. You can see that initiative, under one initiative, you will be having multiple ideas. Okay. Community skill exchange program, that's an idea. Implement, increase employee engagement. Okay, so that's an idea, right? So those are different ideas. So similarly, to go for programs. So this is again a HR transformation can be a program, cloud transformation in a program. But if you're implementing, SuccessFactors implementation can be a project. Okay, so that is something you can think about. Okay, or you're implementing, there is a content development or any kind of trainings you are doing additionally. Okay, or you are implementing, some kind of security feature, or let's say you're part of a utility company, you want to integrate certain extra thing, right? So that is definitely is part of a project. Okay. So this is how I have knowingly divided it in such a way those industry projects, right? In the future, okay, any of you are planning to move towards solution architecture, those kind of roles, you can easily, knowing not only the things, I have broken down in such a way you will be able to implement those as well in the project. Okay, so that is something I will highly recommend. Have a look into it. Okay. So that's the thing, and many more things are coming up, right? But this is what I thought of sharing with you today. This is the first mission, and what I will be doing as a next step, I will be sharing one template in the communities, and where you need to, okay, so there is an enrollment process. Although these hackathons are free, those who are part of the members, at least a silver membership in the community, and you will be having access to this industry for 90 days. Okay, so over and above whatever membership you are having, this is an exclusively given. It's not lifetime access. This industry labs are actually constantly I'm updating and all. But whatever the industry you are picking it up, so I will be giving you 7 options. Okay, so we have at present we have 7 options. So in terms of industries, we have agriculture, one of the utilities, one is your telecom, then one will be insurance, then we do have a healthcare equipment and service. Then we another one, we have a very interesting case study, is the kitchenware. Okay, household durable. Under that again, we have a sub case study specifically the industry for kitchenware. Okay, so that is something I will say 7 industry at present for this hackathon we have planned up, and for every hackathons which will be happening in the every other quarters, we will be having different case studies. Okay, so this quarter we'll be having 7 case studies. You can pick up any one, and accordingly I will be activating those case studies, user stories for you, so that you can take a journey with your regular things. Okay. So with that note, I will take a pause here, and any questions, feedback and all, just any questions or feedback. If you are watching in the YouTube, or you will be watching in the future as well, post your queries in the comment section, and this entry will be closed. So it will be ending in the March, right? So we want you people to at least join this month and try to complete as much as possible activities before 31st of March as we speak, because this is the duration for this hackathon, 90 days. And after 90 days is done, second quarter we'll be having a same hackathon, but it will be having a different industry case studies. We are changing, and you can join as many as like case studies, or maybe a different modules in the next hackathon, or in case you are having some issues and all in this hackathon, you can always join the upcoming hackathons as well. But I want people who are joining, so you must ensure complete those in the one series. Okay, so with that note, if no questions, we can stop here. Thanks everyone for joining in, and looking forward to your active participations in the hackathon. All the best. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.